Ocean Springs will once again revisit the topic of its urban renewal plan.
Now, the first proposal generated plenty of opinions. Stephanie Poole joins us from Ocean Springs with a breakdown ahead of Thursday's meeting.
Karen and Dave, the city of Ocean Springs returns with a revised edition of the Urban Renewal Plan. Now, this comes after residents pushed back against the first proposed plan. And once again, the Board of Aldermen will be holding a public hearing at the Ocean Springs Civic Center this Thursday at 5:30. So redevelopment layout, we'll dive into what all is included. And we've actually been reading into the documents earlier this afternoon, and this is what we've read so far. Documents state the acquisition of slum or blighted areas, demolition and removal of buildings and improvements, acquisition of other real property in the urban renewal area where necessary to eliminate unsanitary, unsafe conditions and prevent the spread of blight. It also mentions the urban renewal plan requires that all property acquisition within the urban renewal area, if any, by the city shall be in compliance with the requirements of the Mississippi Code as amended. Now, it also states no regulation or relocation of residents or businesses is authorized by this project. So once again, the Board of Aldermen will be holding a public hearing this Thursday at 5:30 at the Civic Center, and all residents are welcome to come and voice their concerns. And once again, just sit in and see what all details are included in this new document. We'll have another look coming up at 6 o'clock and more later on tonight. But for now, live in Ocean Springs, Stephanie Poole, WLOX News Now.